YouTube. It is Deborah.7 and the baby of the house. Say hi. Wait, I gotta say hi. Look. They got a baby. Okay, so it's us and we're making a video. So, I just really am probably going to make a series of videos just sharing where I am with myself. So, I've been, first of all, let me say this. My good friend, Starry for Life, my spiritual sister, she tells me that right before the ego goes through a period of dissolution, it flares up really, really bad. And what I mean by the ego is the false sense of self. Yes, push the button. Wait, let me unplug this for you so you can bam on it. Yep. Okay, now, bam on it. Now when I give it to her to touch, she doesn't want to touch it. You see that ego? So what have I been going through? I've been going through dealing with the fact that once you start trying to live outside of your ego and live in a state of constant awareness, it's so funny because what it does is it dissolves all of these preconceived notions that you have and everything that you've learned. Every part of the piece of paper that is you, that has been written on since you were born, as you begin to erase it, to just realize that you are actually a blank piece of paper, and every thought that you have and every experience, how you analyze it, internalize it, and take it, is all based on past experiences and past emotions and, memories and feelings that the brain has stored. So once you start erasing that, I mean, it's crazy because there's things popping up at the end of the day. Like in me, for instance, there's like insecurities that I didn't even know was there. But it's so weird. Most people are insecure about fitting in. They want to do what they need to do to not attract too much attention to themselves, not stand out, not be the outcast, not be the outsider. Me, on the other hand, I would go to the opposite end of the spectrum to not fit in, which was still an insecurity. I'm giving you an example of what I mean by the things that pop up along this dissolution. I went to the opposite end of the spectrum to not fit in because somewhere along my brain, I picked up, maybe if I look different, people will know that I'm different and they'll treat me different because I know I don't think like the average person, which doesn't work at all. I mean, unconscious people see unconsciousness. They're not paying attention to how you dress or even the words that are coming out of your mouth. They can only see as far as what they want to see. Their perception of reality is their own perception. So it was like a dumb notion that I had a long time ago, but it was totally unconscious. I wasn't even aware that I was doing it. But it wasn't until I put myself in a box, and I have always been just, oh my God, there is a CD stuck to my computer table. Now, that's bad. Okay, can you say I need to clean up? So it wasn't until I put myself in a box and I recognized the box one day. I mean, okay, the point to that is you could be living in a prison that you make for yourself and not even realize that it's there. I put myself in a box of I can't wear certain clothes because then others will perceive me as a certain thing. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. I ain't shy because this is all about growing. I can't wear like ghetto girl clothes. You know how the ghetto girls all wear the same clothes, like just simply fashion clothes and the latest trend that's out. The neon thing is really popular, and I don't want to be perceived as a little ghetto mommy. So no, I'm not gonna wear that neon, even though I could spot an outfit. I'm like, ooh, that's cute. Why am I so concerned about what other people are thinking about me when I'm always hollering about I don't care what nobody think? And then I didn't even realize it, but I'm like, I really do care. Like, I put these rules on myself, and then I get to the point where now I'm boxed in by my own rules. But the whole purpose of shedding the ego is really being free. So then, I start to look like, am I really free? No. But see, this is my thing. I'm thinking I'm free because I'm rejecting the boxes that other people are putting me in. Society puts me in a box. I'm rejecting that box. Religion puts you in a box. I'm rejecting that box. But then I'm putting myself in boxes. I know. Crazy, right? Yeah, pretty much. So, it was so funny because then, I've gotten to this point where I'm just like, oh, it's a wonderful thing to be in a body and be able to create. And, every thought manifests as reality, and everything comes from a thought. Somebody had the thought to cut down some trees and make some houses with it. And, right now today, we're all inside of houses. If nobody would have ever had the thought, we would still be outdoors getting rained on, That's my point of everything is a thought. But everything is a thought, and it's like, once you can recognize that and once you can see it for what it is, then you see the way you're formulating your own life. Like, my life isn't going the way I want to. Well, I have options. What can I do? I can change it, or I can keep going the same. People say all the time that you can't change the next person, you can only change yourself. But I am realizing that to consciously change is the hardest thing that human beings can do. But if evolution is evident, we're not outside getting rained on anymore. That's evolution. But to consciously change, oh my goodness. Like, for a minute, I was being tested for diabetes, and I don't know what it was. I just had a really bad exacerbation of all of my glands in my body. And I actually think it has something to do with my chakras, because the glands in your bodies are all in line with their chakras. But it was like my adrenal glands were messing up, my thyroid gland, everything was messing up. I don't know. It could have been all in my head. Who knows? Y'all know I'm crazy. But the point is, while I'm going through that, my blood sugar is dropping. It never goes high, but it's dropping. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what if the doctor tells me I'm a diabetic? Oh my goodness, can I give up eating the way I eat? And then, but hey, I'm a nurse. How many times have I said, well, why do you think your leg got cut off? In my head to one of my patients that got their leg cut off. You've been eating junk food and sugar and shit all these years, and the doctor told you not to, but no, you just had to have your second piece of cake, and then you wanted 10 years later, what's wrong with my leg? Like, you did that to yourself. But being in a position of being able to judge. Now, always in my head, now I would never say nothing to that person because I understand it's hard. But I didn't understand how hard it was until I was facing doing it myself. I was like, oh my God, it's going to be incredibly hard for me to change. Just change my eating habits, change the way I shop. I would have to change all of my habits. Oh my goodness. It was like such an eye-opener to be at the other end of the spectrum because I'm always the one taking care of people. Yeah, so that's really where I am. The reason why I choose to go down this path of enlightenment, illumination, awareness, shedding the ego, all that, right? I mean, because this is the reason why I can't deal with religion. Like any type of religion, Christianity, Buddhism, all that. I can't deal with none of it. Because, for one, the rules just hinder people from their own personal growth. And I have realized that truth is based on perception, therefore it's personal. So there is no such thing as right or wrong. It's all individual based. That's why we're in these individual bodies living these individual lives. But for me, especially Christianity, even though I identify with certain aspects of it, it doesn't teach you how to suffer less, you know, and it just tells you, well, this is what you have to do as long as you're a human being and you're in a body, you're going to suffer. And I am finding out that that's totally contradictory, because it says, okay, you're going to always suffer in a body, but then it says that, you know, God and Jesus will offer you the peace that surpasses all understanding. Well, for most people that I have known in my lifetime, they've never accomplished having that peace, even up to the moment that they die. A lot of people pass peacefully, but during their life, it was always tumultuous and traumatic. And no, you don't. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Look at you. Eat that. It's nasty. Give it to me. But it was always, well, I thought you were playing with this. Here, play with that. That's yours. Write something. Now, when I be taking it away from her, she trying to reach for it and stuff. Now, when I give it to her, she like, it's not working. It's not moving anything on the screen. Technology, baby. I always want a remote or a cell phone or something to move something. So, okay, let me try to remember what I was saying. Okay, so I experienced this peace, not from moment to moment, not from, you know, don't get me wrong. I have been in prayer, deep meditation, and experienced a calm around me and a peace and awareness. And, you know, but as soon as I come out of it, it's back to this motherfucking bullshit, you know. But as I gradually get closer to this place of awareness outside of functioning from a lower state of ego, it's peaceful there. So I put it to you like this. Like, okay, you know, TM, Transcendental Meditation. Okay, so I can do it. I don't do it very often, but I've done it for so many years that I can go into that thoughtless void space. And what happens when you come out of that is you get a better clarity. You get centered, where your higher self is in more control of your lower self. You know, your higher sense of your true spiritual self is in more control of that ego. You know, the spiritual side is overtaking the carnal side, so you can function better on a day-to-day basis. So I'm dealing with my emotional vampire yesterday, and I know I'm gonna have to do it. And I was just conscious in my head the whole time before the confrontation, like, okay, you know, and I'm breathing and I'm doing all my meditation exercises, and I promise you, I'm sitting there typing and I'm not there. So it was like ego just totally went away, and it wasn't so much of you're attacking my sense of self, my sense of the image of who I believe myself to be. I can't even explain it, y'all. I was just really like in Hawaii around the flowers and stuff. I was not even there. And I have never done that. And it put me in such a place of peace. I was there the whole way home. I was sitting there like, wow, this is so weird. But what I did was I was just breathing and being in the moment and allowing myself to understand who I am in that moment. Who I am in that moment is I'm a spirit that's in this body, that's experiencing this particular uniquely made life for whatever reasons that, you know, I'm here to experience. So I'm embracing the negative of the situation. I'm not going to turn it on for you. Here, play with this. Yeah. I'm embracing the situation, you know, in the moment, even in the bad. That is, my friends, the peace that surpasses all understanding. Because how in the world can you possibly embrace a negative moment? where you got somebody that's belittling you, cutting you down, making you feel like crap, and it's not affecting you at all. And I'm going, that was the peace Jesus was talking about. Oh my goodness. But you know, the funny part was the whole time I was in church, I was trying to get it and I just couldn't. Look, look, that's yours. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Say hi. Sorry, you guys. Mwah. And I'm going to tell you another thing I realized I was doing too. I have such a worry about my children. Will they grow up? Will they, become trapped? Will they be able to free themselves from the illusion of reality that's out here? Will they be able to achieve the peace that I've achieved? So everything I'm doing it in a way for my children to excel past the normal, everyday, unconscious bullshit. Because, people live their lives like they drive home. Just drive, just do it from autopilot and get home and don't even realize they didn't even realize that they just drove home. Just whatever, in the house, just everything is just automatic. Not even paying attention to what you're doing, just doing it. I just didn't want them to do that. So I always point them out to them what they're doing. Look at what you're doing. Look at recognizing this moment. Recognizing this moment. Which kids are like, whatever, mama. For my daughter, it sent her deeper into her ego, I believe. It sent her where she's like, Mom, you are too far left. I'm going to go right. And then if I'm believing all these things about being perfect, and God's spirit is inside of everything, every particle, every dust, every speck, every molecule, every atom, every chair, every bench, every tree, every sun, every person. Why am I worried about it? Because if we are created in the image of God, then we are created perfect. All that crap about sin and all that, yes, that comes with being in that body because you have the duality. You have the brain function with the emotions, the automatic pilot stuff, and then you have the true self that most people don't even recognize. So, yeah, you have the carnal side and the spiritual side, and most of the time the carnal side wins because you're not paying attention to the spiritual side. But, it's like all that crap, and I'm trying to get my kids to supersede past all that crap. And if God is in you, then you're perfect. Bottom line, I was telling my kids that, like, you're perfect. You might make mistakes, but you're perfect. You're perfect just the way you are. You're perfect in the eyes of God because you were made in God's image. I'm finna cut this off and I'm finna just talk. I'll see you guys.